G'day friends, welcome back to Mick. My name is Jack, the snack that smiles back. Today I'm wearing a cowboy hat. Hack. Why? Because I want to, that's why. We're going to bounce through some more stories today. Thanks for joining me, by the way. Really appreciate it. It's going to be nice and relaxing. I've got some chilled coffee here. We might just add a little extra ingredient. Yeah, that's a lot. That's too much. Oh dear, I've made a mistake. Am I the a-hole for forcing my daughter to find her own way to a wedding because of what she was wearing? My wife and I have 3 daughters, 19, 24, and 28. Our youngest, Jill, just started community college this year, while our 2 oldest have moved away to start their careers. Jill still lives with my wife and I, as she is attending college locally, and this saves her money. This past weekend, we were invited to my niece's and goddaughter wedding a couple hours away. The dress code was semi-formal, so men were expected to wear suits and women in dresses. As we were getting ready to leave, Jill was taking her sweet time getting ready, and I was kind of nagging at her to get going. She had been out late the night before with friends, and I'm sure she was feeling the effects of that. When she was finally ready to go, she was wearing some kind of black spaghetti strap halter top thing with leggings. I told her that was not an appropriate outfit for her cousin's wedding, and that she needs to change it to something else. She told me she doesn't have anything else to wear, and that I don't get to police what she's wearing. I told her that judging by the amount of dirty clothes on her floor and in her closet, she clearly has other options. She just didn't plan ahead enough to figure something out. I told her it was disrespectful to her cousin, the bride, to wear something so revealing and tacky to their wedding. Jill called me a jerk and said no one is going to care what she's wearing, and if people focus on her clothes more than the bride, that's their problem, not hers. I told her in that case, how she is getting to the wedding is her problem, not mine. I don't want to make a judgment just yet, but that's not the same thing. That's a terrible argument. She asked what that meant, and I told her that if that's what she wants to wear, she is going to have to find her own way to the wedding, because I am not going to arrive with my daughter looking like she is about to hit a club at 2 a.m. instead of attend her cousin's wedding. My wife chimed in at this point and told us both to calm down. She told me I was being overbearing, but also told Jill that she did not agree with her choice of attire either, and reminded her that this is a semi-formal event. She told Jill she would help her find a different option that would be better suited for this. Jill scoffed at that and went to her room and closed the door. I went and knocked and told her she has 15 minutes to be ready or we are leaving without her. She yelled at me that I was being an a-hole, so I went outside to wait, and after 20 minutes, I went inside, and Jill was still in her room. I told my wife that I am leaving, and she can either come with me now, or her and Jill can figure out their own plans. My wife asked what Jill is supposed to do, and I said she can take an Uber for all I care at this point. My wife reluctantly left with me, and I could tell she felt guilty about the whole thing. Jill ended up not coming to the wedding, and both her and my wife blame me for it. I don't think I was the a-hole here, though. So, on one hand, it's an adult, 19, she's an adult, being told and dictated into what she's allowed to wear. But also, this is a special event where they have requested a specific standard to meet. I have to wonder, is it really the dad's right to be the one to enforce it and not the people at the wedding themselves? Would it not be more of a lesson for her to be rejected right at the entrance of the wedding because of what she was wearing was not appropriate? I mean, he might feel like he's saving her the embarrassment here by telling her straight away, but I mean, look where that got you. What are your thoughts, though? What are your thoughts, though, before we read the comments? Natar, yatar, ish, what are we going at? Because the most popular opinion is a natar. You're exactly right. Leggings and a halter top are not appropriate to wear at a wedding that is set to semi-formal attire. It shows disrespect to the bride, and it's embarrassing for you as well. Now, the people saying that you have no right to say, "I'm not taking you unless you change," have a double standard. They want to say that Jill is an adult and can wear what she wants and make her own choices, but they still don't believe that Jill should face the consequences of her choices, and also take on that adult responsibility of having to figure out how to get to an event. And yeah, that's a good point, though I would have to argue, considering it was assumed and believed, and I'm sure it was previously planned, that the father was going to be taking her in the first place. Would you really blame her for suddenly being a bit stressed out and confused as to how the hell she's going to get there if suddenly her ride just isn't available anymore. Thoughts from a fence sitter though. Your wife had it right where you're both in the wrong. Your daughter is an a-hole for obvious reasons. You were right not to take her. But I think a better approach to have taken would have been, if you are mature enough to make a decision to defy a dress code, you're mature enough to figure out how to get there, and leave it at that. Instead, by holding it over her head, you leaned into the power dynamic. Yeah, look, personally, I'm gonna say guitar, because as much as I agree with the whole idea that, yeah, you should try to stick to the dress code out of respect, but I think in this story it's more of an issue as to how you handle the situation, and yeah, in this situation you came across as a bit of an a-hole yourself. Again, she's a 19-year-old woman now. Let her suffer the consequences of her actions on her own. Because honestly, the story comes across more so that you're just embarrassed rather than trying to teach her a lesson. Next story is a spicy bit of drama. Am I the a-hole for admitting that I regret raising my ex's kid after what she did to my daughter? I'm a 56-year-old male, and I said something in anger that, while at least partially true, maybe should have just taken to the grave. Legally, I have 3 kids, but played a fatherly role to 4. The 2 relevant children to this story is my daughter, Michelle, 24-year-old female, her sister Amy, 22-year-old female, and my youngest daughter, Kelly, who's 21. Amy is not my daughter, but she and Michelle have the same mother, Jessica. When I was with Jessica, there was cheating on both sides, and the last guy she cheated on me with got her pregnant. After the DNA test proved that Amy was his, he bolted and stopped paying child support when Amy was 5. Okay, so there's Michelle, Amy, Kelly are the daughters. Jessica is the ex-wife. Lot of females in this story, okay. Jessica really struggled as a single mother, and Amy always felt bad that Michelle had a daddy while she didn't. And Michelle would tell me how guilty she felt. By the time Amy was around 9, I started making really good money and decided to pay a little more than the legally mandated child support and taking Amy with me more. Jessica, Amy, and Michelle all loved this, and by the time Amy was 13, she was calling me dad, which I didn't mind. Now, I thought I was doing a good thing and helping my daughter foster a loving relationship with Amy and showing all my kids that just because things don't work out doesn't mean you still can't get along. Apparently, I was a little too nice and teaching the importance of sharing too much because Amy got a crazy idea in her head that it was okay to share a man, and Michelle caught her sleeping with Kelly's boyfriend Jason. Amy begged Michelle not to tell, and that this was a one-time thing, and Michelle believed her until she found out that Amy was pregnant and eventually came clean. So Amy believes it's okay to share a man around, but when she gets caught doing it, she suddenly flips the lid and freaks out to not be caught? Something tells me that was more of an excuse she was projecting to get a free pass. Kelly was distraught and angry at both Amy and Jason while hurt by Michelle. I didn't hide my disappointment at Michelle and have made it a point to tell her so every time we talk. I haven't spoken to Amy in months, but Jessica recently said that I've spent enough time being angry to get over it and called me a hypocrite because I used to be a Jason. I have no delusions about being the perfect partner in my past, but cheating with family members is not one of my sins. About a week ago, Amy came to my house crying and saying that while she knows she messed up, she really needs my support. She literally came not too long after Kelly cried herself to sleep again upstairs over what Amy and Jason did to her, and I calmly asked her, how can I give again? What I know regret giving in the first place, then shut the door in her face. I then sent Michelle a text that, while I still loved her, Amy was no longer welcomed in my life and to never bring her to my house. I've calmed down a bit, but I still feel like being involved in Amy's life was a bad choice, so am I the a-hole? Now, an edit to add, I've been in and out of here because I had stuff to do, but I keep seeing some things that I wanted to make clear to everyone. 1, what Amy did wasn't a mistake. It was a series of choices that she made and obviously would have continued to make if someone else hadn't ratted her out. 2, Michelle didn't tell Amy what Amy and Jason were doing until after she found out that Amy was pregnant, which was before Kelly and Jason moved in together, meaning Michelle stood by and watched her sister move in with and become financially tied to someone who was cheating on her. That's why Kelly and I are most upset about. Yes, Jason is equally to blame as Amy. He's just not the one contacting me or showing up at my doorstep. No, Amy and Kelly are not sisters, not by blood, and certainly not in spirit, as Kelly wants nothing to do with her. So a simple timeline of things: Michelle caught and found out about Amy and Jason in June 2020. Kelly and Jason started living together in January 2021. Amy discovered that she was pregnant in September 2021, and Michelle came clean a few days later. I told Amy that I regretted raising her a few days before making this post. So, woo! Yeah, that's a one. That's something. Let's go straight to the top comment. Nata! A lot of people will disagree, but the fact she expected to be treated as if nothing happened when she slept with her sister's boyfriend and got pregnant as a result is crazy. You did a kind thing raising her and helping her so much, but if she is repaying you and your bio kids by doing things like that, maybe it is right to get her out of your life. Plus, it sounds like the ex is more concerned you won't be there to financially support her daughter rather than the fact she is pregnant with her sister's boyfriend's child. Good luck. So let's think about the question here. Is he the a-hole for regretting and telling her that he regrets raising her? I have to wonder, do you genuinely regret, or is it more just because you're upset about what she did? Because by the way you explained the story, it genuinely sounded like you felt very fulfilled helping this woman out, both your ex and this child. I mean, sure, she's done this absolutely scummy thing, and honestly, kick her out of your life, dump her trash. But I think to say regrets is, I don't know, it sounds a bit reactionary. Let's check out the super popular thoughts though. Got a lovely 58 downvotes here. You're the a-hole. You're her dad and have been for years, and she did something terrible, but you just cut her off. Cheating sucks all around. But now she's not your daughter because she hurt her sister. I'm not excusing what she did. It is terrible. Just because your cheating was different doesn't mean you cheating in a better way than she did. Okay, but he didn't sleep with he didn't sleep with his sister's boyfriend. Though I'd have to argue, if anything, Amy here exposed just how scummy Jason was. Like, if he was willing to do this with your sister, imagine what he would have been willing to do with some other woman that came his way. I'm just saying. Maybe Amy does deserve a second chance because she played a bit of Sherlock Holmes on him. Actually, no, scratch that. Amy was trying to get away with it. So, Michelle, you should... never mind. Change that. Amy is scum. She tried to hide all of it. She didn't actually try and come through with it. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to be around my friends when they're hanging out with my harasser/stalker? So, backstory. 2 years ago, I kissed this boy on the cheek as a thank you for buying me a drink and candy to make me feel better right after I got dumped. Ever since then, he's been stalking and harassing me. Even though I have a boyfriend and have turned him down multiple times, he's made my boyfriend and I both extremely uncomfortable. The harasser called me his soulmate and love of his life, knowing I have a boyfriend, to his close friends, and I never knew he was referring to me as this until my close friend showed me screenshots and a whole-ass letter. He's also done other things I will not be mentioning because it brings in bad memories. Now, I'm in a small friend group of 4 people, not including me. Today, I was standing with 2 of them outside of my classes, and when the third person walked out of the class with my harasser, I quickly walked away and didn't say anything. Now, by the way, they all know what he did. But last week, he apologized to all of them for everything he had done, and they forgave him. Meanwhile, he never apologized to me. Even if he did, I would never accept it. Now, a few texted me after the issue, and I explained to them I was very uncomfortable being around my harasser since he had been stalking and harassing me for over 2 years. It made me feel stressed and anxious, and I told them that. They said it's only for the 10 minutes before the class starts, and I told them any number of minutes I'm around him and they're being friendly with him makes it feel like they're invalidating my experience. They told me to suck it up for 10 minutes so we can all go back to everything being okay. I told them I wasn't going to put myself in an uncomfortable position just to hang out with them. They then told me to text them when I stopped being an unreasonable a-hole, then kicked me from the group chat. I feel like at this point I should just suck it up so I don't lose my friends. I don't want to lose them since they've been there for me through a lot. But am I the a-hole here? Oh, my thoughts here are going to be a bit controversial, but let's see how we go. Most upvoted, Nata. Also, those people are not your friends. If you want to, talk to one of them separately. Talking in person, no texts, they can be distributed, and see if that changes something. But if it doesn't, you'll have to look for new friends. Also, I'm sorry your life is hard at the moment. It'll get better. Keep your head up. Yeah, Natar, this guy harassed and stalked you but never apologized to you directly, even though he apologized to them, despite never stalking and harassing any of them. They then expect you to put up with him. No. For all you know, he's trying to get close to you for round 2, and then they're taking his side. If they won't budge on not hanging out a known stalker/harasser, they're not good friends. It's better to have no or fewer friends than associated with excuses of stalking and harassment. Now, I absolutely agree to this whole issue here. Why the hell are you apologizing to the friends and not her? Now, that said, I want to go back to the story here. The harasser called me his soulmate and love of his life. It sounds to me, at least from the perspective of a hopeless romantic guy growing up, that he was merely just expressing the fact that he was still very attracted to her. This is where I'm being a bit skeptical on the whole harasser aspect of this. Now, I don't doubt he has been harassing. Again, boys in high school. Oh man, they're such smooth talkers.
Hey, is that a watch you've got on? Because it's time. You look. It's time for you to look good. Hey, is that a watch you've got on? Because you should watch. I could watch you all day.
I say all this not because I think that it's totally fine what this guy's been doing in the past. I just think this guy seems like he's someone who just doesn't know how to express his emotions regarding someone he's attracted to. Oh, update. Here we go. Here's some good details. Wow, I might have to cut out all of what I was saying just before. So someone asked the comment, "You've mentioned nothing untoward what he's done. Either mention specific examples or it's impossible to give an accurate judgment. Right now you just sound crazy." Now I don't think crazy, but I definitely was thinking at first that he just expressed his feelings towards his close friends about it all. He was just saying that he sees you as the love of his life and his soulmate. He wasn't saying that directly to you. That's not so much stalking and harassing as much as it is just expressing your feelings. As far as I'm aware, being attracted to someone doesn't make you a stalker. I'm attracted to Emily. I'm not a stalker. Much. But hi-ho, here we go. He found my boyfriend's personal Instagram and harassed him with aggressive, rude comments calling him a cheater and a liar, and various other things to attack him. Then followed all my social accounts with a fake burner account and would message me very creepy paragraphs telling me how much he loved me and how he would treat me right when my boyfriend wouldn't. And every time I would block him, he'd make a new account and message me there. I even had to sit next to him in one of my classes while all this was going on, and he would be overly sexual and creepy. And when I told him he was making me uncomfortable, he would stop for a day or two, then go back to making the same jokes or comments. He would also put himself down around me and expect me to compliment him. Why didn't you put this in the original story? This is so much more context. When I would go to the vending machines after class, he'd follow me and pay for me when I told him not to and that I had the money. He would eavesdrop on personal conversations I would have with friends, then butt into the conversations. One time, I was telling my friend how I needed a feminine product for my period. I was very quiet and very discreet about it. But he came up to me 20 minutes later with said product and said, "I overheard you talking. Don't want you to be embarrassed," and handed it to me. That really creeped me out. He even followed all my family on social media as well. Also, every time he'd see me text my boyfriend, he'd always mumble some comment under his breath like, "the woman who gets around a lot," or "I'd be better for you." I have told this guy I do not want anything to do with him multiple times, but he would not take no for an answer. So there you go. Wow. I originally was rambling about how much this guy clearly is just an awkward teenage boy, not knowing how to really tell a girl he likes her. Just say to her you like her and just ask her out. But clearly she's uninterested in you, so okay. Move on. Welcome to reality. You're gonna meet 50,000 versions of her in your lifetime, I assure you. Yeah, damn, dude, that's... ugh. I mean, the butting into conversations, yeah, it's really, very awkward tactic, dude. But the creepy messaging, come on, man. I thought I was bad enough in high school when on one Valentine's Day, my neighbor that I was attracted to, I woke up specifically at 5 a.m., 3 hours before we'd all wake up to go to school. I raced over to the front door of her house, dropped off a Valentine's Day gift. So stupid. Left a note, being anonymous, talking about how, beautiful she was and all that kind of stuff. And problem was, this was year 10. I was the only boy in biology class in year 10. So when I make a reference to biology class, that was not a smart idea. That's not a good way to stay anonymous. Ultimately, she said she wasn't interested. Understandable. I was sort of this guy, except not as creepy. Wow, I mean, I'm not that bad. Am I? But yeah, overall, absolutely Nata. Well done for standing up to this guy as much as you can. And yeah, your friends are in fact now totally a-holes upon looking at this. Absolute scum. Welcome back, you've made it to the end of the video. As you get to the bottom of the cup, the alcohol, denser than water, I think. Science? Look, I didn't really listen much in science class. End of video! Back on topic. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure having you here, joining me on this journey. If you're new to the channel and you like the ramblings we have together, then why not subscribe? Please do. It only takes a moment of your time. Totally free for you, costs you nothing, and it helps this channel grow, which is what I'm really trying to do. I'm trying to give more focus onto this channel throughout the end of this year and into the next. But I can only be consistent as long as you guys are sticking around and saying hello. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming by. Anyway, you've been amazing. I will see you for the next one. And until then, you have a good one. Bye-bye.